Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Box with the Technical Trader at thetechtrader.com. It is Tuesday, the 16th of July. These are the charts of the day. Well, kind of a mixed day in the market. Ended slightly lower in the session, a little bit of pressure, but a lot of individual stocks, particularly silver, truckers, etc., came to the forefront. We'll show a few of those. Here's AG, one of my very favorite junior silver stocks that I've been talking about for years now. When this stock was trading in the 4 or 5 range, it's quite attractive. Here's the breakout above 7.25, and now it's up to 8.69 at the height today, closing at 8.57. If you step back and look at it weekly, you'll see that the large declining channel has been broken, and a run up to this resistance here would likely be a target. I'd be looking at around 9.5, and I might be looking at then a follow-up through a session that takes us to about 10.90. Once we get through that zone, if we do that, it's all over the stock. We have a lot more upside, but let's take a look at that. Currently has momentum. Today was a big day for it, up 66 cents, 8.3%, 8 million shares nearly traded, 7.7 anyway. Big volume for that stock. And we'll get to some others as we go. Biotech's still in the forefront. Aver Bio with a big pop today. You can see that this stock once traded in the 50s, came all the way down to the low teens, and you can see current action shows a breakout in big volume the last 2 sessions. A little bit of resistance in your short-term target, 21. And we get through that, we're looking at something in the mid to high 20s, maybe even 28. BPTH exploded today. We traded that nicely. The stock popped. Let me show you the 1-minute intraday chart and what it did after hours too. You can see that in the morning, the stock popped, pulled back, exploded, had a falling wedge, another coil, and then a big explosive move after hours, should I say late in the day, and then after hours it's formed this wedge. The overall look at this chart is extremely positive. It looks like a rising channel. It may need some consolidation, but my next target is 18.5. Beyond, well, BYND, absolutely stellar, and with that large multiple wave move up, it looks like a 5-way move up and then a wave sideways. If this is just 1 and 2, we may have a big third wave coming. So we're going to have to see if we can get up above the resistance, which right now is not too far from here, about 174.5, and today's high was 172.5. We can get above 174.4.5. We may take a run at 200 again, and who knows what beyond that. CDMO, discovered that one today, put a swing on it. I liked it so much. You can see the long-term pattern. Shows multiple base for the last 4 years. The resistance at 8.75 and then at 12, those are potential targets going forward. You can see the recent action shows an explosive move, a big volume. That day, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, it traded 8.9 million shares, and now it's been staying higher with a move of 13 cents or 2% today. Not a big one, but the OBV is hanging up, holding up 7 and 7.5 for my near-term targets. ERII, energy recovery, long-term look, terrific. Big multi-year base as well. If I don't miss my guess, now that it's broken out, and today was a key day for it, up 93 cents or 8.6%. 800,000 traded stock was the biggest volume of the last 3 weeks. It looks, or 3 months, excuse me. This could be a popper. I would not be surprised if it ran into the 13, 15, and even 16.5 range. Keep an eye on ERII. KNX in the trucking section, popping 214 or 6% today at volume 5.2 million. It's the biggest volume in about 6 months. It looks to me like a massive left shoulder with a double left shoulder, head with a right shoulder there, and neckline being tested. Today's high at 36.46 is right at the neckline. We break through that, we're looking at 39.40 and 44. Overstock continues. The swing trade we put on at 14.83 ran up to near 20 2 days ago at 19.75 and pulled back a little bit, but if you look at the overall structure of this channel, it still looks like it's in order. Now, obviously, if it runs underneath 1660, you may want to consider a stop, but if this is just consolidating for the last 5 days, it may explode again, and if it gets to 19.75, 20, right through there, the next target is 22.75 to 23, and then 26.5. Pan American Silver, one of the leaders in the silver group, also with a nice run today. You can see the major decline top sign was taken out over the last year and a half. Recently, with a V bottom as well. A platform and a wedge consolidation was broken today with a big pop on 7.8 million shares, up 6.2%. My target is a multiple tops up here at 15.5, and then we'll see where it goes beyond that. PAAS has been on my list for a year now, or at least for several months, on my top 30 list, and you can see why. It's accelerated its angle and broke through the top of that channel, which was right about there, leading me to believe we're going to see a run at 20 or 19.5, 20 zone coming up. PERY exploding of late from about 270 to about 435 in a week and a half, 2 weeks. You can see that the gap, 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 and gap. This is 4 gaps in a 2-week span, pretty impressive. With volume, also impressive. I would not be surprised at this point if the momentum continued, but it is a little bit short-term overbought. Nevertheless, today's action breaks it out over the base pattern and leads to a target of near 5, about 490, let's call it. An immediate target is 6. Old swing PIRS, or recent swing anyway. I like this little low price puppy. Broke out, pulled back, we gave you a swing. It then moved up and pulled back again, creating a rising channel bottom. It appears right there. And now I'm looking for 530, 550, and 7 as targets. Roku continues to impress, another 760 or 7.3% on a mere 21 million shares. That's the biggest volume in 2 months. This looks like it's headed for 130.35. SSYS, a little pop and pullback today. They get up to 30.60, finished 29.88. But I got a feeling that this ascending wedge or flag is going to explode and get up to near 34, my next target. And finally, XPO Logistics, another company in the trucking logistics area, popped out of its declining tops line and crossed lateral resistance today with a pop of 330 or 5.6% on 2 million. I think it extends. I think it's going to test short term the double top from April, coming in about 68.5, and then we're looking at 79 to 80. And that's it tonight for the charts of the day. Everyone have a good evening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Let's make some money then. Good night.